the LiveRamp data marketplace. I'm going to tell you exactly what this is, why it matters to you if you want to make a ton of money online as an advertiser of your business. So what this, if you don't know what it is already, LiveRamp is a data transferring / management tool to where if you have customer data coming from a bunch of places, you can send it to this program, LiveRamp, and then you can send it to other places. It's like a data management platform. Specifically, the LiveRamp data marketplace is important and relevant because you can use data that other people have, other companies that you want to get data from. It could be somebody, an indirect competitor. And this data, essentially, when people want to monetize their data, because let's say I have a surf shop, I want to make money from my data, my customer data. I can actually make a deal with LiveRamp. LiveRamp then puts it in their marketplace, and if I want to sell to people who bought surf equipment before, I can access that data through LiveRamp, specifically running ads on Facebook and Google to those customers of the surf shop. So it not only cuts out the middleman, if you will, of or if you will, having to talk to that surf shop directly, it also cuts out the process of having to get access to customer data and then giving it to Facebook, because it can basically just directly pipe in there, and it's already ready once you access the LiveRamp data marketplace system. So why this is important is because when you're trying to run Facebook ads and Google ads, everything as to whether or not you can make that work or not and make it a return after your expenses comes down to understanding who your buyer is and then being able to narrowly target your ads to just slam dunk prospects. If you can do that, you can make a ton of money running ads, display ads, non-search engine ads that most people have difficulty with because they don't understand how to make an ad that works, and they don't know how to do targeting, more importantly. So the targeting that LiveRamp Data Marketplace has is fantastic. And they have data such as one of their partners is Visa. Visa sells all their customer data to LiveRamp, and that you can access it. So if you want to target people who bought pizza in the last 30 days, you can get access to it through this LiveRamp system. And more importantly, you can run a Facebook ad at anybody who's bought pizza with their Visa card in the last 30 days, tying this all together. That's the LiveRamp data marketplace system in a nutshell. And I'll point out how you can more specifically use it to make money, given we've done stuff with the LiveRamp data marketplace already, of which I'm going to talk about. So with that said, LiveRamp data marketplace gives you access to the data that you used to be able to get through Facebook pre-2019 and the whole privacy debacle that they used to that Facebook went through, when the campaigns used to work really good. Back 2017, 2018, Facebook was off the charts. There was all kinds of Facebook agencies popping up because it was easy to make money. The data that Facebook had was fantastic, which is what got it to work. There was many different types of audiences in there that you could pick that were super hyper-targeted, so you could find the perfect people to target. Furthermore, on top of it, though, Facebook had access to mobile data from Apple users, which that also got cut off. So both of those things happened and essentially neutered the performance of Facebook ads. But now that there's this LiveRamp system, you can now target like you could prior to 2020, and they got rid of all these hyper-targeting options that are there. You just have to be able to pay to access the data, to whereas before it was free, now you have to pay to access the data. The cost, though, it's all relative. Either it makes money or it doesn't. And I can tell you firsthand, targeting broadly, just to save money so you don't have to pay for your targeting audience, is not the way to go if you're selling something super specific and it's only purchased by people that have very specific life events or problems, very specific ones. So in other words, if you're not selling Big Macs that can be sold to everybody, you need to be able to, hyper-target people in order to make ads that cost money pay for themselves after your expenses and so on and so forth. So you want to pay for these audiences. Okay, so in a nutshell, going through how this works again, basically you got third-party companies that want to sell their access to their data. Maybe McDonald's wants to make money from their customer data. They can do so, assuming that they had, of course, data that they understood who their customers are. They could sell that to LiveRamp, and then people who want to market to McDonald's customers can do so through the LiveRamp system. Visa, I mentioned, is a big one that sells all their credit card customer data to LiveRamp, and then through LiveRamp you can pay to access it. Experian is the other one. Experian is a huge data broker that's been around for a long time. You used to be able to target Experian audiences through Facebook prior to 2020, but now you can do it. You can still target them through Facebook, but now it just has to be through that LiveRamp data marketplace itself. To give you an example like what Experian does, you could target people who have a medical problem, which you're never going to obviously have the ability to do that on Facebook on its own, or Google for that matter. Even on Google though, they may not even search for, if they have foot fungus, you want to target somebody who has a foot fungus problem, they might be looking for foot fungus powder, cream, whatever on Google, and you can target people that way, but that's limited. A much better option would be to just target people that are known foot fungus people with your product and try to just make that work, because you'll get 100 times more sales that way. That's what Experian data is going to be able to give you. They are masters at getting the data, and just to clarify, they don't actually get the data themselves. They are just a middleman. They get it from other people. You might have a foot fungus mobile app that is for foot fungus people to manage their foot fungus. If you have that app, Experian can approach them and say, hey, we want to tap into your user data. We'll pay you XYZ amount per user. Then now that Experian has that, they can go to other people who want to market or sell to or whatnot to people who have foot fungus. And namely, in this case, now it's Experian brings the data to LiveRamp. LiveRamp, now you can access that platform to bring that data about people who have foot fungus into your ad accounts on Google, on Facebook in real time. So anyway, you got these data people that are selling their data, whether they're a data broker or the end user that has access to the data directly. They sell that data to LiveRamp Data Marketplace, and then from LiveRamp Data Marketplace, you can access it as an advertiser trying to sell your products and services, so that those audiences can now be imported into Facebook and Google, that you can then target a campaign targeting those audiences. So pretty simple on how this actually operates. The costs, you actually are charged, there's several ways you can pay. You could pay a flat fee to access that audience data, or you could pay a percentage of your ad spend, or pay per click. I recommend just charging a flat fee, because if you know what you're doing as an advertiser, you're going to get a better rate that way. But like I was saying before, most people don't make money with display advertising, especially smaller businesses that are not doing like 100 million a year in sales already, because they don't understand the fundamental concepts of being able to sell whatever they have to somebody who's not looking for it right immediately right now, like they're searching for it on Google. And so they can't get a banner ad to show up for somebody. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to make that make money after their expenses of the ads, and then the product or service, they have to deliver that and so forth. So I mentioned on this channel many times that if you could find a group of people, that 1% of those people, if they saw your product or service, they would just want to buy it, that now your target, whoever you're grouping or your audience that you're targeting, now will be profitable. That 1% rule, it basically applies to everybody. And so what you're doing is trying to find places where you can run a banner ad in front of somebody or run a Facebook ad in front of somebody that who you're targeting, 1% of those people are people that would absolutely want to buy, because you could take 99% of who you're targeting to be waste, but when it's 99.9% of what you're targeting being waste, now it's so broad that, because every time your ad shows to somebody who's not going to buy, that costs you money. So there's a point in which your targeting is so precise that it makes money, and there's a point where it's not precise enough, it doesn't make money. And you just got to get to the other side of what you're doing there. So the LiveRamp data marketplace enables a lot of businesses that normally couldn't get display ads to work because the audiences are super precise that you can target getting access to their data. You could target people who have a specific problem, okay? Ailment, need, life event, trait, or category. So when you're talking about targeting somebody who has a specific problem, we could be talking about people, somebody who wants to learn how to be better golfer, okay? They're actually actively trying to figure out how to get a lower golfing score. You can get access to that data through the LiveRamp data marketplace. So if you were to sell a golf product, that's how you would do it. We've done something in that space before like that. Ailment, okay? This could be somebody who has asthma, okay? When I say ailment, this is different than problem, because it's somebody who has a medical problem or afflicted by something that isn't looking necessarily for a solution, but would be happy to fix it. Everybody who has asthma would like to get rid of it. Everybody who's fat would like to get skinny, and so on and so forth. So we've marketed air filter product, or air filtration device product, to people that had asthma and allergies, because that's the top customer. Which, by the way, you need to be able to figure out who your customer is, and not just saying, if you sell an air filter product, it's people who want clean air. No, you figure out the people who buy. What's the unique signature of a customer who buys most often? It's a person with asthma. It's a person with asthma or allergies. It's a person who, in that particular space, that's mainly the number one thing, but it could just simply be somebody who has at least, $60,000 a year in income. It's somebody probably that's female, specifically. It's probably somebody who has kids as well. And then you figure that out. And actually, LiveRamp has, if you give them the customer data, that's part of what they do. They can give you a profile of the most common traits of your customers that you have, so you know what audiences to purchase and go after here. So, with that said, it's just a matter of figuring out who it is. Google actually also gives you free data as well. If you upload your customer data to Google under the audience insights, they'll tell you the most common traits that match up with your customer base, so that you know how to use the LiveRamp data marketplace to your advantage to find an audience that's going to work for your brand. But going back to the problem at hand here, you could find an audience that's based upon, you could target somebody who has a specific need. Somebody that needs to have their kitchen remodeled would have a specific need. We've targeted people who specifically are, needing remodeling services specifically. And then you can get access to that kind of data through LiveRamp as well. Life events. Life event would be like somebody who got recently fired. We had somebody who sold insurance packages, plans for COBRA insurance, which is something you normally get after you've been let go. And the perfect time to reach, in that situation would be the best case would be to target somebody right after they got fired. Don't wait for them to look for COBRA insurance, because that's just a small, tiny little percentage you could target on Google. And you could do that first. You should absolutely do that first because that's the easiest thing to do. But if you're going to expand further than that, you got to be able to you got to find some other places to run your ads. And the best place to do that is to pay for the data from the people that have it. You could also find somebody who has a certain trait, churchgoer. Had somebody who sold a product to religious people, highly religious. So in that case, they also have that data. Or it could be a certain category here. Could be somebody that has a constantly busy schedule here. If we sold a product where you could get packages delivered, like it's a package mailbox, if you will, found out, and like you need to do, figure out what makes up your most common customer. And that market is somebody who's busy, that works a lot. Why? Because they're not home to accept packages. So this product is good for that. So we can use that to do the targeting. But in that case, it's not just that. It's that, and each trait that they have makes it more likely that they would be able and willing and wanting to buy the product, which is somebody who has a second house, somebody who travels a lot, somebody that shops online a lot. And there's a point, so a lot of times it's not just one audience that will make your campaign work. It's this audience plus 3 or 4 others that if they have all of these traits combined, now you've got a grand slam dunk here. So, and obviously when you pay for the data, there's no rule that says you can just use one audience or one audience has to do it. One audience by itself will be the least likely thing to happen. More likely is you're going to have multiple audiences, and the person that you're targeting is going to have multiple things in conjunction with one another. So you could pay for multiple audiences and upload them to Facebook, upload them to Google, and then have your ads only trigger if they're on all 4 audiences, because you can do that with both platforms. So anyway, that gives you some basic examples of like different situations where we've ran display ads and how we did the targeting, how we figured out to do the targeting. And LiveRamp Data Marketplace is the way that things are going. The way of getting access to customer data from companies and then uploading it to Facebook and Google is going away in replacement of these real-time platforms where you can get access to customer data, which is better because you're getting it in real time. Anyway, but with all that said, you should still go after the low-hanging fruit in your space if you're trying to make a scalable ad campaign and advertising strategy for your company. That is, if you're selling kitchen remodeling services, obviously once you've targeted people typing in kitchen and remodeling services in Denver on Google and got all that, you could target people who've searched for that recently with banner ads across the web. And with Google, you can do that through Google Display Network as well as YouTube, right? But even before that on Google, you could target people who have been to one of the competitor sites, indicating that they're a little bit more serious, and I would do that first. There's a point where you're going to obviously run out of opportunities there, and that's the time where LiveRamp will come into play. So, and on LiveRamp, by the way, you can get access to custom audiences that you can get through Visa. So if you want to target all the people who have done business with all the local Italian restaurants, you can do that as long as they've used a Visa card at these Italian restaurants. So you don't have to, you can actually build your own audience as well through LiveRamp using the Visa data by itself. So the sky's the limit really on this thing. But going back to what I was talking about before, Google already has a lot of data. We're routinely going to be able to target people who have been to the competitor site or typed in the competitor's name before or typed in that they're looking to buy curtains or buy granite countertop installation services. And we don't need to get fancy with the LiveRamp data and purchasing the data. But once we've extracted all our value there, or if that's just not good enough, which in most markets you'd be able to make some money that way, then you can get into buying the data through LiveRamp. The other thing I would also try to exhaust before I start purchasing data from LiveRamp Data Marketplace is the geofencing data. So if you're a local business and I'm a car dealership, which we've done this before, if they've been at another car dealership's lot before, that's something also to consider. I mean, you can't beat targeting competitor audiences, people who look like they're about ready to do business with a competitor, like in the car dealership example, or somebody who just does business with the competitor already, such as if you have a day spa and if you can go after anybody, why go after somebody who might be just a one-off customer, but you could poach away your competitors' customers who go once a week and have for the last 10 years, which we've also done that and do that first. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and you should do all that stuff first because it's usually more profitable than leasing audiences. And if you're trying to sell spa services, to sell it to people that match what a typical spa customer is like, where the person that's interested in spas have anxiety problems or whatever, because somebody who's been to the competitor spa is obvious that you could get that person if you just had the right pitch. And then you got to have the right pitch, of course, of which that's a whole separate topic. Normally, if you're going to have a pitch and have an ad show up for somebody who's not actively looking right now, you got to have something that appeals to them. A discount, limited time discount specifically, a free sample, a free trial, a 200% money back guarantee. These are the types of things that really get ad campaigns to work, banner ad campaigns on Google Display Network, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, because they get people to stop what they're doing and say, wow, I have to take advantage of this right now. Otherwise, they don't act. And the more times they act, of course, the more profitable it can be. So you just got to mathematically figure out what can we give away to get that person's attention, get them in the door, value that customer based upon what all the future business that they are likely to do with you, and then use that to justify what you're giving them up front or what have you. So anyway, so I pretty much spelled out the main things to know about LiveRamp Data Marketplace. There'll pretty much be a way to make ad campaigns work for you there. They have so many ways to do targeting, and they have access to so much data. I encourage you to at least check it out once you've picked all the low-hanging fruit running ads on Google and Facebook. On Facebook, truly, Facebook ads, by the way, if you didn't say it or you didn't know it, Facebook ads work quite a bit better than Google Display Network, because Google Display Network ads generally have a lot of click fraud, which is why I like YouTube better than Google Display Network. And even better than YouTube is Facebook in terms of how well it converts. With Facebook's targeting being neutered, this is like breathes a whole new life into Facebook ads. So, this is a godsend to make Facebook ads work. And it's good that they took away all the targeting options in the native interface, because that means you're going to be able to get it to work and your competition isn't. Even if the competition sees you're running your ads on Facebook, they won't be able to replicate it because they don't know about the LiveRamp Data Marketplace and how it works and how to actually do hyper-targeting on Facebook the way that it used to be that you could, and that really got it to work. So anyway, with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was useful for you. You'll be able to make some money with it. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate giving the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel. This channel has tons of content on it that will help you make a lot of money with ads. It's the best information you're going to, I promise you, find on Facebook, as it's coming somebody who just does ad strategy all day long, and I'm not just a professional YouTuber. So you should subscribe, and if you like the channel, you'll also like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can also find material from myself in written form, as well as you can see my written work at my column that I have at entrepreneur.com. If you're looking for an ad manager, that is the best ad manager you could find. This is exactly what I do for clients at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. We offer a guarantee for our clients at the beginning where we can raise your sales a certain minimum amount before we charge you anything, as a way to show the value that we can bring our clients, and that would be without raising your ad spend. So it would literally be money out of nowhere, or coming from nowhere, or coming from nothing. And with that, we'd be willing to offer that to you if we know we can get great results with your campaigns up front to get you as a client. That's our trademark service that we have at our firm. If you're interested in seeing if we can do that for you, you should reach out at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and give you a quick free analysis on your campaigns and see what the potential with them is and are. And beyond that, if you aren't looking to work with an ad agency per se, which I understand a lot of people don't want to, they're more hands-on. We have campaign templates that work in 100+ different markets, of which if we worked in your market, which there's a good chance that we have, instead of figuring out all the stuff that we had to figure out for your market, you should just use the ads and the landing pages and everything that we've developed for your market that get the results that we've gotten in your market for yourself, and we sell those for a one-time fee, of which you can just then copy and paste all the results that we're getting in your market already into your own ad accounts. And we would, of course, be able to tell you what results we're getting in your market. As long as you're not in the same geographic area as our client, then it's all fair game. Anyway, if you at the very least, you should reach out and see if we worked in your market and see if those templates are available, because if they are, then you should take us up on it, because the money we charge for it is way less than what you're going to spend to figure out the same thing. It's not even close. So anyway, with that said, if anybody who's watching this is willing to let us work on their campaigns, we will offer you a free PPC management service in exchange of being able to share what we are able to do with your campaigns on this channel as a way to educate the viewers of this channel a bit more or at a higher level than we are now with just my whiteboard videos. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com to discuss it. We're also doing partnerships with different companies, in that if you're not looking for a typical agency service or relationship, we can partner up, we can invest in ads, we can buy ads for you, and we'll take a percentage of your sales growth at your company. We've done this several times now, and we're looking to invest in more companies. If you're interested in that as well, you can also reach out to me if you think you've got something good that we would be willing to invest our time/money in as well. So guaranteeppc.com if you want to see if we could potentially link up as far as an official partnership, scale your sales, and pay us on percentage of sales growth. I'll wrap it up with that though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, it was useful to you, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.